Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mary Elizabeth Jones' Variety Hour.
Hello again. Hello again. And you're Mary Elizabeth, right?
Yes.
All right. Where's your name tag?
I don't have one.
My face is my name tag.
Yeah.
I'm so identifiable. I'm Kaye Lazar. I almost gave my real name. Oh, gosh. Nobody wants to know that. Oh, let's see. We're almost at the end of August, almost the end of summer.
Yeah.
Having a good summer?
Yes. How about you?
Oh, yeah. I always have a good summer. Summer's my favorite time of year. In fact, August is my favorite month.
Yeah.
And except for all these flies and all these birds. I wonder why there's so many flies here. All these birds. Oh, that's why there's so many flies.
Yeah.
But connect the dots here.
Yeah.
In fact, there's dots everywhere around.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was, let's see. Guess what I did today?
What you do today?
I played bingo.
Bingo. I love bingo.
You like bingo?
Yeah.
I'm at the age now that bingo is excitement for me.
Yeah. We used to play it when we were at the theater.
Bingo?
Yeah.
Well, it's a very popular. I tell you what's popular about bingo is I don't know if they play it in other countries because I never hear them say bingo. There's even a joke in Inglourious Bastards where the guy says, "I think that's a bingo," and he goes, "We just say bingo." Bingo is and bingo was his name-o. Remember that song? We're gonna sing about 6 or 7 choruses of it later, so stay tuned for that excitement. Bingo, it's all luck. It's all luck, and sometimes you get so frustrated playing bingo that you finally just have to just throw it out and just say, "I want new cards."
Yeah.
I played bingo. I didn't win anything. Usually I do win. Beginner's luck. Every time I play bingo, it's a new game. But this was a this game the first couple of games was fine, and we won these prizes and everything. A local old folks home was sponsoring it. So, and we're all I was the youngest person there. The average age of this bingo tournament was 80. They said, "Hey kid, get me a drink of water." Anyway, what happened was, I found out that when you play bingo, you only want to play the normal way. Left, right, up and down, that type of thing. You don't want to be fancy about bingo. Because it takes too long.
Yeah.
There was, and I didn't win anything. The first games were up and down diagonally, all that. But then after maybe the third game, we only had an hour to play it. Was at the YMCA. Was they did it a strange way. They did it. They do the 4 corners.
The 4 corners, the stamps,
Yeah.
the postal stamps.
If you get it, the postage stamps.
And the crisscross.
The crisscross.
Diagonally.
Well, this one we did the plus sign, or the T, the small T, and that is down the middle and across the middle, the free space in the middle, and it looks like a T when you get it. So I saw people doing this, and they were putting dots everywhere, And I said, you don't really have to put dots everywhere. You basically only have to do the ones in the middle. So obviously, when you do the ones in the middle, what's the middle number or middle letter in bingo? N.
N, yes.
So at one point, when it looked like this game looked like it was going to last forever, I told the bingo announcer, "Keep those N's coming."
Yeah.
Because the ones in the middle, B-I-G-O, you could only get the one. So and I, of course, and my dad said that his favorite game was "Oh Crap." I said, "What's that game?" He didn't call it "Oh Crap." He said, "Somebody yells bingo and you yell, 'Oh crap.'" That's how everyone feels. Everyone's mad. So it took forever to play this game. And then we played it a second time, and it took forever. And I found that with old people, you just want to play it as much as possible. Get as many winners as possible. I don't think there was only about 4 winners the whole game, the whole hour, when there should have been maybe 10 winners. And everyone gets a prize. Sort of like Little League baseball or something.
Yeah.
Pee Wee League. I'll tell you how it worked. There was, these were the prizes. You're going to love the prizes. It was very frustrating because there was an old folks home sponsoring this bingo thing. All right. The woman had her cell phone on and she had music playing in the background. Now, it wasn't music like in stereo or something. It sounded like a transistor, in the old days, the transistor radio. So you hear this, you hear like, and you think I know that song. Or I think I know that song.
Yeah.
A lot of, and so you had that in front of you. Behind you, you had old folks talking out of the bingo realm to like representatives from the old folks home to want to join them. So you heard this, and then on top of everything else, you had the caller saying beep. I said what? All these old people. What did you say? Why did you say it? They're not. I'll tell you what was really funny was somebody yelled bingo with the cross, with the T or the plus sign.
Yeah.
She said, does a big T count or is it only the small T? She said, no, the big T doesn't count. So if you got the big T, that you didn't get bingo. And I said, listen, these are old people. They do all their texts in caps. They only believe in big T's. They don't believe in the small T's. So anyway, so here we are, bingo, and you should have seen the prizes. Oh, the prizes were really cool. The prizes were not. I think the big prize at the end was a $5 bill, which was great. I could use $5.
Oh yeah.
But up until that point, none of the other stuff was all. It was all like household items. It looked like they went through their closet and just took what was out of the janitor's closet, and there was like a thing of Lysol.
Yeah.
Thing of what's that stuff you wore during the pandemic? Disinfectant on your hands, whatever. Purell. Store brand Purell. They had a dishwashing detergent. They also had a thing of like a 6 or 9 roll toilet paper. And I said, I know something. That's going to be the first thing people want, the toilet paper, because you can always use toilet paper. Yeah, I come from a big family. Give me the toilet paper.
Yeah.
I didn't win, so I didn't get anything. They had, and then of course the food. They had candy, and candy is usually a pretty good gift, a prize. But it was all that sugar-free candy for diabetics and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And these are old people. They don't, they don't want any of that stuff. So let me tell you something about old people. Old people, like when they're playing bingo, they want it as simple as possible. You don't make the rules, 4 corners, T, circle in the middle, all that stuff, diagonal. I mean, these are people that don't know how to program a VCR.
Yeah.
They don't know. Whoa! Wow! Look at that. I feel like I'm in a. I feel like Tippi Hedren's in the audience here.
Yeah.
But there goes my hairstyle. Oh well, who cares? It's good to have hair. That's the first time I think the wind blew away my hair, my computer. My hair all the time. So I didn't even know what I was talking about. Oh, I was talking about nuclear physics. That's right.
Yeah. You're talking about bingo.
Bingo. Okay. So old people like there was a time when my parents didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
Or remote control on their TV. There was a time. My father, for example, was born before sound movies. And I was born, I wouldn't say I was born before color television, but when I was a kid, people didn't really have color TVs. But they did have color TVs as we moved on. But then what's weird is if you're born without that stuff, you don't miss that stuff when it's introduced. It took me a long time to learn computers. And these old people did not know how to play these fancy bingo games. All they know is B-I-N-G-O. Hey!
Yay!
There was a episode of the Bob Newhart show, I remember, and he had to give a lecture at a kid's school, and they said, would you like to lead us in the school song? And he goes, remember Bob Newhart? I don't know the school song. He goes, it's very easy, everyone knows it, and they all started B-I-N-G. That's a school song. I remember once we once tried to get the teacher. Substitute teachers have it rough. They're always being pranked on by the kids. And we once told the kids that we don't sing the national anthem. No, we don't sing the national anthem before class. We sing The Lion Sleeps Tonight. And we sang The Lion Sleeps Tonight. In the village, the peaceful village. Which was a big hit at the time, yeah. I went to school in the 1950s, so it was a big hit then. What else? So there was a time when we didn't have to deal with all that stuff, and you don't really miss that stuff when it's introduced late in life. I remember one kid had this fancy oceanographer's watch. And he was bragging how valuable it was. And he brought it to school, and he said, it's waterproof, and it's shock resistant, and it tells you the time in different time zones, and it has a stopwatch on it. And I brought my own watch to school. I thought my watch was better. Had Spiro Agnew on it, in his underwear, and he was doing the Spiro Agnew watch. It was he was doing, his hands were like peace signs, and I thought this was the coolest watch. So I can tell you some other stuff about that watch, but it didn't have a second hand. It just had hands, and it had him on it, and I thought it was the coolest thing. So I brought it to school, and my friend looked down on it and he says, "Oh, I have a better watch than you." He goes, "Really?" He goes, "My watch is so much more expensive than yours." I said, "Yeah, how much was it?" He goes, $20. I said, "Well, mine was about $12 or $10. I don't know how much it was. I got it for Christmas for my birthday, so I didn't really care how much it cost." So I said, "My watch is so much better than yours." And he goes, "Well, mine tells a better time than yours." He goes, "Well, we have the same time. The time doesn't change. Everything's good." I said, he goes, "Well, mine you could swim with my watch on." I said, "I don't need to know the time when I'm swimming."
Yeah.
He says, "Mine is shock resistant." He goes, "I don't plan to be in any fist fights in a while, so I don't need to wear my watch during a fist fight." Yeah. He goes, "Mine is tells the time in different time zones." And I said, "I'm only in the one time zone. I don't really care what it is in other time zones." And it went on and on and on, and I pretty much every step of the way fought him on it. And at the end of it, my watch was the better watch. And I'll tell you why, because his actually, I think, conked out on him eventually, and mine was still ticking. Another thing about this watch, I think it's raining now.
Yeah.
Not yet, anyway. When it starts really raining, that's when I'm going to worry about it. It just came all of a sudden, this rain. The other thing was the, what else can I tell you? I went to the White House. Richard Nixon was the president. And there was in those days they had tours of the White House for kids and stuff, and so we went on a tour of the White House, and I asked one of the tour guides, "Have you ever met the President of the United States?" And he was Richard Nixon. He goes, "Oh yeah, I've met the President of the United States. Nice guy." I said, "Well, what about? Did you ever meet the Vice President?" He goes, "You mean Spiro Agnew?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I've met him too." I said, "What's he like?" And then some guy said, does he look like this? And he grabbed my wrist and held it to the guy because he looked like the guy on his watch. And the guy just looked at it and just laughed. He goes, you have one of those watches too? There was a Mickey Mouse watch. You ever have a Mickey Mouse watch?
I think I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
It used to be that you didn't want a boring watch. You wanted a cool watch.
I think I had a Garfield watch.
Garfield watch. It didn't really matter whether it told good time. You just wanted something as your favorite. And actually, in recent years on eBay, you could find almost anything on a watch. You could even find, you could even put your mom and dad or grandmother on a watch. Did you have a hard time telling time when you were a kid?
Well, somewhat, but I got it pretty well, as the years went by.
I knew o'clock and 30.
Yeah,
but I didn't know the numbers in between.
Yeah.
Took me a while. I was kind of a slow kid when it came to stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I could, and then I think one day, I actually didn't know how to tell time until I got a watch. I thought it was important just to know the half hours. And then sooner or later and then around the time I learned how to tell time, digital watches became popular. So I didn't even have to learn how to tell. Just looked at the numbers and there was a time. Clock radios always had digital numbers on them. People still have clock radios?
Think so.
Because how do people wake up these days? Do they have the computer?
They have an alarm on their cell phone.
Oh, it's on their cell phone. Okay.
Just like I have an alarm on my cell phone.
I turn my cell phone off at night. I turn my cell phone off between 10 and 10.
Yeah.
Not in the afternoon to the 10 at night to 10 in the morning. Any phone call I get before then or after then, I think it's an emergency. I think somebody died or something. And so I'm always worried about that because people, as I get older, people are. I just turned 50, and don't laugh, everybody. See all this gray, 50-year-old gray. Anyway, I just turned 50, so I know what it's like to get calls. It's always an emergency. Friends of yours, your friends get sick and everything. That's why it's very important to be healthy and exercise and everything. So this is the last week of swimming and everything. So I'm trying to do other things like play bingo. It's actually a good excuse to go to the YMCA. You go play bingo, but you can also do some exercise while you're there too. Now, so tell me, have you seen any TV or movies that we should talk about? I tell you what I saw. I saw something about Elvis and the Beatles, and I always heard that gosh, we got all these. We usually play to a packed audience. This time we're playing to a bunch of geese, Canadian geese.
Yeah.
I want to go where the wild goose goes, and I'll go to the wild goose go. That's Frankie Lane song.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm watching this thing about Elvis and the Beatles, and I always heard that the Beatles, that the living Beatles, always said that Elvis, they met Elvis when they were at their peak in the 1960s. They were in California, and he had a house in California, and they went to visit him, and he was very nice to them. And then you hear that Elvis actually went, just like I did, to the Nixon White House and tried to. There's a movie about it with Kevin Spacey as Nixon. And who plays? I always forget that guy's name. But another guy played Elvis, and it was a really good movie. It was a comedy. But what happened was they said what I heard on the show was that Elvis liked the Beatles. He liked their music. He liked everything. He did not care for John Lennon. And there was a reason why. He liked the others, the other three, but he didn't care for the reason why. When they went to visit Elvis, John immediately said, "Why don't you use your position to stop the war in Vietnam?" And Elvis was, a former veteran of the army, and I don't think he was, gung ho anti-war. Believe, like a lot of military people are, and so he did not like that tone that he took with him. The other thing was that at one point, John Lennon said to Elvis, "How come your songs aren't as good as they used to be in the 1950s?" He says, "Those movies you make, and the songs they make you sing in those movies. I think you're just being led by Colonel Parker into making this, and then making these terrible decisions."
Yeah.
And I think he gave the impression, I'm still doing fine, so don't.
Yeah.
But when it came time to sing Beatles songs, he only sang songs that Paul and George wrote. Something in the Way She Moves, and Yesterday, and Hey Jude. Songs I've heard him sing on concerts, concert albums and stuff. He didn't sing any John. He didn't sing, I don't know any John songs, but he didn't sing the Johns like Norwegian Wood or anything like that, or Strawberry Fields Forever, or any of those weird songs. John wrote, more biting songs. They're good songs, and great songs. And Paul sang. Paul would have been a great songwriter, not only in his day, but also in maybe on Broadway or something, the Broadway shows. A friend of mine. I went to dinner the other night with some older people, and I was the youngest person there. Can you believe that? There was a time that everywhere I went, I was the youngest person there, and now everywhere I go, I'm the oldest person there. And I think, and I never got the memo that today it's going to change. But this time I was the youngest person there. And we were talking about, one guy had just come from New York, and he went to see a Broadway show. He saw Cabaret with Eddie Redmayne, and as the MC. I don't know who else was in it, but everyone likes Cabaret. And so I said, how much were the tickets? Because I every time I go to New York, I look to see what's playing there so I can go see. I always want to see stars and everything. Eddie Redmayne's a big star. So I said, so he said, we were in the second row and it was $350 a ticket. I said, what?
What?
I'd stay home and watch it on television with Joel Grey.
Yeah.
And Liza, of course. And so I was looking, because, I was thinking about my next trip to New York, and I was looking at what Broadway shows that are playing there. And they had the cheapest seats to like a show I wanted to see was like $200.
Wow.
It was $190, which actually means it's over $200 if you add all those fees. I hate those fees and everything. So it was Robert Downey's play. And I wouldn't go see it because the play is any good. I just want to see Robert Downey.
Yeah.
To see Bruce Springsteen a few years ago, he did a run on Broadway, like a 3-hour show where he just played a guitar and gave a speech. And that was like $800. It's now on, I think, Netflix. You can see it. I was in New York when that happened, and he walked out of the theater, and everyone's cheering, and there was more people in the street wanting a glimpse of Bruce when he left than actually was in the theater because they couldn't afford the tickets.
Yeah.
And that's what I've seen Bruce a few times. So, and then so I was. You had plans to go to New York to see a show?
I'm going in January.
And what show are you going to see?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Okay. All right. Is Daniel going to be in it?
I don't think so.
Because I saw Daniel on Broadway in What to Succeed in Business with Not Really Trying. How to Succeed. Also, John Larroquette was in it from Night Court. He was the Rudy Valley part, and the part that I guess Robert Morse played originally was played by Daniel Radcliffe, and that was fun to see them. And it's a great show, and it. So getting back to my friend, I said, did you like New York? He said he went to school in New York, he went to college in New York, and he says, this might be the last time I ever go to New York. And I said, why? He goes, oh, it's too expensive. The shows are too expensive. And I just want to hang around and enjoy life here in a smaller town.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I'm getting that way too. It's strange the trade-offs you make as you get older. You're not, I can't exercise like I used to. I don't have the enthusiasm that I used to have. Although I still have a little enthusiasm for the theater, to be in the plays and everything. My mom worked until she was 75 years old as a nurse. And nurses, it's a hard life, picking up people and putting them in chairs and putting them in beds and everything. Some of these people, they do not take care of themselves. And I mean, they're obese and they smoke and they drink and everything. And now this is where they are, and my mom's taking care of them. And I said, my mom finally had to retire because of Parkinson's disease. But I told her a few years before. She said, you do a lot of physical work for a person over 70 years old. And she says, no, I see a lot of people. I see a lot of people still working hard, like George Burns and Fred Astaire are still dancing in their 80s. And then I said, they're not dancing that much. I said, you might see comedians and actors in their 80s and even 90s, but you don't see stuntmen. You don't see acrobats. You don't see people in circuses doing all that stuff. And thus, you're not just sitting and just giving advice. You're actually in the world doing stuff. So do you? How are you doing? How's your physical limitations lately?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't have as much energy as I used to.
Yeah.
But I keep it going. So.
What do? You drink a lot of coffee or something?
I drink coffee twice a day.
You drink coffee? I drink coffee round the clock.
Yeah.
Hey, you haven't guessed that already. Let's see. What else do I do? I eat a good breakfast.
I do too.
And if you eat a good breakfast, you don't worry about the rest of the day. I found that in fact, you know what the word breakfast means? Break your fast. That's what it means.
Yeah.
You haven't eaten since dinner last night. I don't snack between meals. In fact, if I find myself snacking, then I realize I'm not eating my meals well enough.
Yeah.
That's the European ways you eat like that. And so I try to. What else do I do, Fred? Sometimes I don't eat. Sometimes I think if I eat too much, I get lazy. So if I try to keep my meals light, try not to eat desserts. When I was a kid, that's all I ate was desserts. Just desserts. I always got my just desserts in all ways.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, if it, I would eat anything that was like sweet. I would eat, it's cake and ice cream and the typical stuff, candy bars. I still like candy bars, but I mean, I won't eat. I don't eat cake as much as I used to. And if I used to eat any ice cream, but now if the ice cream I don't like the flavor, I won't eat it. I don't eat rum raisin, for example.
Yeah.
I once had to eat a whole bunch of ice cream once because my sisters wouldn't eat it. It says, "Eat, Kevin, eat." And I had to eat probably 4 bowls of ice cream because 3 of my sisters wouldn't eat them. And come on, eat. And it was just so much fat and grease and everything. I must have been, 9 years old or something. I never really got a taste for ice cream after that. There's a good way of it's like making a kid, you catch a kid smoking, you make him smoke a whole carton of cigarettes and say, well, now how do you like it? The same with eating ice cream. I used to eat the buttermints from at the restaurant.
Oh yeah, I used to do that.
Yeah,
too.
But now I don't eat those anymore.
I used to eat them like they were candy.
Yeah, I know. You eat them like they're candy. In fact, to a little kid, they are candy.
I remember when I was in a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah,
I would grab a bunch of them and I put a handful of them.
Yeah, it's like eating toothpaste. So fact, I remember once on The Simpsons where they had like a family counseling or something.
Yeah.
And Bart, being Bart, there was a thing of like buttermints, and he just grabbed everything in the dishes. I'm not leaving till all these buttermints are gone. And he just was eating one after one after one. It kept them, and they liked it because it kept him quiet, because he was always mouthing off Bart Simpson. Then at the end, he goes, "Oh, I feel sick," and he just barfed all just one big blob of buttermilk, buttermints. There's no butter in buttermints. They just seem like butter. I'll tell you something I never cared for that everyone seems to love. That's a sweet is chocolate milk. You like chocolate milk?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Do you prefer it to like regular milk, or as I call it, vanilla milk?
I like them both.
You like them both? I don't like either one. Well, I mean, when I drank milk, I drank vanilla milk, white milk. I didn't drink skim milk. When you're a kid, you don't really drink skim milk. And then you learn as an adult to start drinking skim milk. And then after a while, it doesn't taste any different to you, Same with diet sodas, I think. So I'm drinking this skim, I never really cared for chocolate milk. I like the hot chocolate.
Oh yeah, I love hot chocolate.
Like Swiss Miss or something.
Oh yeah.
Cocoa. I don't really care for that now, but when I was drinking coffee, that was a good alternative to coffee.
Yeah.
But I never cared. As a result, to me, chocolate ice cream was just a frozen version of chocolate milk.
Yeah.
But I mean, so we had a problem child in the family that wouldn't drink milk. So my dad thought it was a good idea. Well, have them drink chocolate milk. And I said, "Dad, you're basically just adding candy to milk and making her drink it."
Yeah.
You're not solving the problem. You're creating another problem. You're creating two problems now.
Yeah.
Because now you can't get her off of chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Nestle's Quick. I always thought that stuff was a treat. It's not like drinking soda or something. We had a lot of problems when I was in school. Kids not drinking water or milk or orange juice. They would just drink sodas all day. Even football players. I used to know kids that if you went to their house, they had those 2 liters of soda, and they'd pour it, and then when it was down to the bottom, they would just open up another one. I mean, we got a 2 liter on our birthday, and we all had to share it. And we that and Pringles we had to share. And I'll tell you about Pringles in a moment.
It's raining right now.
It's not raining out that hard. And I'm not. I still got 20 minutes of stuff to talk about.
I'm serious.
So anyway, I would drink. You don't like?
I don't like it.
All right. Anyway, I think we've said enough. We'll take a little break now. All right.
All right.
All right.
God bless you. Take care.
How does this thing work?